live. Start.
All right. Hit the live stream.
We're live. Live on you.
Well, we're not live on the radio yet, but we're live. We're live here on the live stream, YouTube, Steer the Line.
On YouTube.
Steer the Line channel here on YouTube.
Cool.
Usual rundown tonight. We've got Rocky, we've got Christian, but Jeremy is not here. He's up in the Bay Area visiting family and fixing up a house that he's selling. And then we have Nick joining us from the Snoqualmie Casino Sportsbook. Hey, Nick.
Can't hear you, Nick.
I can't hear Nick.
He's muted.
Nick, I think you're muted. This is why we do this little 3-minute thing before the show.
Can't hear him.
Still can't hear him.
Yeah, mute. Is there a little microphone on your screen, Nick, that you can hit? Click a little microphone. Well, that's not good.
No, can't hear him.
Try again, Nick.
All right, let me see if it's on my end.
Check your end, Christian.
I'm checking.
So I got a little.
Yeah, I know.
Clock.
We have this little couple minutes before we go live on the radio where we're actually
Can you hear Nick
also live on YouTube.
Can we hear Nick?
No, I can't. No, we cannot.
Can you hear us, Nick?
Give us a thumbs up. We can
He
hear
can
us.
hear us because he's trying to talk to us.
Nick can't hear us
but
either?
He's muted.
You can hear us, but we can.
No, he can hear us, but we can't hear him.
Okay, we're 1 minute out, guys.
Say hello, Nick.
Try going on your settings and looking on the output.
You talking to me?
No, Nick.
Nick, I'm going to give you plan B. Are you ready? Take your cell phone and call this number, 951-922-3532. We can't see you, but we'll hear you. You'll be on the radio station feed.
About 30 seconds, guys.
Yep.
Hey, Nick, is that you,
call?
Nick? All right. Yeah, I got Nick.
Okay, great.
All right. So Nick will be calling in.
Yeah, he's going to be. He's got him on the radio.
All right, everyone, here
So
we
we'll have
go.
Nick.
Disclaimer
Here we
incoming.
Following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
But they might be.
What's happening, football fans? It is time to steer the line.
Touchdown!
With your host, Loud Esmond and Jeremy James. For the best takes in NFL and football betting, fantasy football, and the latest news, get ready to steer the line.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another segment of Steer the Line. I am Christian Giordani. The man right below me is Rocky Giordani. And the man to the other side of me is Mr. Loud Desmond himself. Another week of NFL news. Week 3 is over. Thursday Night Football for Week 4 just came up in a brutal, brutal game. How are you guys doing so far?
Good. And by the way,
Great.
you can't say behind and below me because it's different on everybody's screen. I have no idea what it looks like on the people watching. I'm Rocky.
I do.
Yeah,
That's Loud.
it all depends. Nick, you can't see on the screen. Had a little technical difficulties, but he's on the radio feed here with us live from the Snoqualmie Casino and Sportsbook. Hey, Nick.
Hey, how you guys doing?
There he is.
Doing great.
We are doing well. So Nick, the Snoqualmie Casino Sportsbook, obviously it's a beautiful property. I was there earlier today, cutting a couple of segments that will be on the Snoqualmie YouTube channel. I'm doing a little bit of education in terms of sports betting. It's been legal for about a year in the state of Washington, and there's a lot of people that are still getting into it. The sportsbook, a little bit busier every time I come. I think the football season is heating up. How are things going there at the sportsbook for you guys?
Things are great. Like you said, we are in the football season, and October, November are normally the busiest months in the betting industry. So we're just gearing up for October. We got a lot of exciting conference games tomorrow in college football, some good pro games on Sunday. And with baseball coming to the end and our local team, the Mariners, being right there on the crisp of clinching their first playoff spot, people are very excited around here.
Yeah, it's been a number of years since the Mariners have been in this kind of position late in the season.
Since before I
Relevant,
was born.
that is. Yes, it's been a while. So it's good to see. Nick, one of the things people might be interested in is it's such a different world and a different job than most people are involved in. What's it like to be the manager of a sports book? What are your job responsibilities? What do you do?
So it's different depending on like which operator. Like if you work for a bigger company, it's going to be a little bit different. For me, since we handle our own liability, I manage our liability. So my job is really to just try to look at every single event and see where our bottom line is on every event and try to move the line to try to make it as even as possible by the time the event goes off. So try to persuade bets on either side depending on how it is. I'm also involved with, getting to know our customers and building relationships with them and making sure that they have a good time while they're here and that we're their prime choice and destination when they choose to go out and sports bet.
So you are actively managing the lines at that sports book. That's your responsibility.
Correct. Yes.
Wow. Rocky, you got any questions for? It's such an interesting job. Rocky, you got a question for Nick?
Muted.
Rocky is muted.
Yeah, that blows me away.
All right, Christian.
So now,
there you go.
Does Nick set the line at the Snoqualmie Casino? Does he actually set?
Well, he's on the phone. You ask him.
Yeah, Nick, you kind of go by the Vegas line, right? Or does your line differ?
So how it works is we get our line our opening line is the average of the market, and then I have the ability to move it depending on where the bets are going. I don't normally move a line unless we're getting heavy on one side. So like, for example, today I moved the Vikings line because we started getting heavy on them at -3, so I put them to -3.5.
Yeah.
Right, and that's probably because the news came out Jameis Winston will not be playing in that game, and it's likely that Michael Thomas won't be either.
Which coincidentally was my pick of the week.
So that moves the
Vikings my pick of the week.
Right. So are there reasons why you chose, because I know you've been in Vegas, you've been in other states, and now you're managing the sports book at Snoqualmie. You had your choice of gigs that you could go to. Why Snoqualmie and why the Pacific Northwest and a new area for sports
Well, it
betting?
started with the culture. As soon as I came and toured the property, I could tell the culture was a lot different. It was very unique. Everyone was very kind, and it really did feel like a work family. And then also, it's just, it's beautiful country out here. I'm very outdoorsy, and it's a great professional town. When I got here last year, the Kraken were just about to start as an NHL franchise. You have, obviously, they love the Seahawks here, the Sounders in soccer, the Mariners, the Seattle Storm for WNBA. So there's just a lot going on, and it felt like the right move at the right time, and it turned out to be great. We paid for our sports book within our first month of being open last year. So it's been an amazing experience, and I'm just looking forward to keep building memories and becoming a better person, a better manager, and developing even a stronger team over time.
Well, I'll tell you this. Snoqualmie is one of the nicer properties that I've been in as far as casinos. It's a beautiful place in a beautiful setting. You've got a hotel coming in a couple of years. I never feel rushed. I never feel crowded, even when the casino's busy and the sports book is busy. And the people at the sports book, I've met a lot of Rude Sportsbook people and Rude Casino people over the years. And the people at Snoqualmie are very nice. They're very understanding. They work well with beginning bettors. I've seen people come up with questions, and your folks are really good at, hand-holding and being patient with people who are new to this. Because that's the thing. There's a lot of people that are new to sports betting in Washington because, well, it's new to Washington. Mm-hmm. And so now that it's legal, people that maybe played fantasy sports and other things are getting into it. And it's good. I just tell people it's good to have somewhere to go where if you have a question, the people at the Sportsbook are going to be helpful and treat you well. And it's a beautiful place. Nick, we'll have you back again in a couple of weeks. Good luck this weekend. Well, as long as it's not bets that I have. So
sounds good. I appreciate your nice comments as well. And you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Nick, great talking to you, buddy.
All right. Nick, thank you. Nick from the closest sportsbook to Seattle and casino, Snoqualmie Casino and Sportsbook. And it's where I do all my betting. So there you go. All right, Christian, you're producing. Take it away. What are we talking about next?
Honestly, the biggest news in football right now is Tua Tagovailoa. And me and Rocky have been talking about this for the past day and a half of how.
What happened to him?
Yeah. you really don't know.
Yeah, he's joking.
Just kidding. Yeah. I had Cincinnati -3 last night. So I was watching the game. By the way, that was my Thursday night football best bet.
Yeah.
So
yesterday.
For anyone who
and nailed that one.
Yeah, for anyone who didn't see that game, Tua Tagovailoa took a very, very bad hit from one of the Cleveland. Yeah, one of the Cincinnati Browns rookie defensive ends. That was his first career sack, actually. And he went out, he seized up, his hands got really crooked, and he was laying on the field for 10 minutes and got rushed to the hospital.
Hang on.
Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead, Lou. Make fun.
I
can't believe this guy.
There's a new thing sweeping the nation. It's called the Tua.
The gang sign. I'm a Tua Tagovailoa. I'm a tilapia fan. Lou, there's something wrong with you, bro.
Do the Tua.
Nothing to do with therapy wouldn't help. Something wrong with you, bro.
So, yeah, Tua.
God, that's terrible. Anyway, Christian, go ahead.
They throw the gang sign. Throw the Tua.
Almost immediately after that, about 10 minutes while laying on the field, they did not want to move him because while being unconscious, he was only muttering, "My legs, my legs." So they felt like he was paralyzed and they didn't want to move him or touch him until they knew he had a full motor function of his waist below. Then they put him up on a stretcher with a neck brace and rushed him to the nearest hospital where he, I wouldn't say made a full recovery, but they cleared him to fly with the team that night. And we're going to see if he's cleared concussion protocol and he can play.
It was a scary, scary hit, a scary, scary incident and injury. The great news was he walked out of the hospital under his own power, which means they wheeled him to the door and then put him on the sidewalk. He walked to a car, got in the car, made it to the airplane, and flew back home with the team. So good on you, Tua, man. I hope he's okay, bro. Now, of course, we're not going to go through all that speculation all the talking heads are doing about investigations. Are we allowed? Okay.
No, but I will tell you this. I was watching the game on Sunday, and when he took the hit that he took, I turned immediately to Al, who is my buddy who's always here watching football with me on Sundays, and we both said at the same time, well, he's done for the game. I was surprised he was let back in the game, and I was, obviously worried for the young man when he took the hit. And I'm not going to – no blames or aspersions. Apparently he passed the protocol, whatever. But I don't think the NFL is going to want to see him on a football field for a while.
At least for a week.
Because of the public reaction.
Everybody getting in there. Everyone pretend to be a neurologist, which they're not.
Right.
The guy's tough, man. He came back Sunday, got in and won that game. And the important thing is to remember is that he passed the concussion protocols that are in place set by the NFL, the Players Association, the league, the doctors. There are spotters, neurologists in all four sides of every stadium during every game, and they're watching. They see somebody get hurt. They have the power to take somebody out of the game. Everybody looked at him, checked him, and said he was okay to go back in.
Yeah, okay, so I get it.
Right. But he
here's
lost
my
consciousness this time on Thursday. Yesterday he lost consciousness. That's a different. That's
Here's
the
my
minimum
question,
of 2 weeks.
Rocky.
Minimum of 2.
Here's my question.
Right.
Your son Christian is Tua Tagovailoa, and you see him take that hit on last Sunday, and you see him come back in the game. Are you going downstairs to ask the coach what the hell?
Yeah, dude, it was scary. I can't imagine how his parents felt. I know his mother is trying to file a lawsuit now against the league,
Yeah.
and the Players Association, for letting him play after what happened Sunday. The thing has no legs, but yeah,
Right.
you can imagine.
Yeah, I think that was the mistake. Yeah. And look, I'm not going to be outraged about somebody getting knocked out. I love UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do I watch UFC for? I want to see somebody get knocked the F out. You know what I mean?
Literally,
I mean,
I can tell you a little bit about knockouts.
UFC
I can tell you about knockouts and Samoans. I fought Vaha Tamaleo, the middleweight champion from Samoa, from Tonga, and I beat this guy half to death, Lou. Beat him half to death. He went straight to the hospital after the fight, walked out into his own motors. The next day he was at my house, congratulated me with bandages and his eyeballs, and he was fine. And he, as soon as the swelling went down, he was back in the gym. He was still training in LA for another fight. These guys have coconuts for heads, man. And
There's some tough dudes.
Amazed.
Well, tough dudes. Yeah, look, I'm not going to be outraged. What I worry about is the national media and the liberal media using what happened to Tua as an excuse to persecute football.
Yes, and that's what's happening. And the talking heads are all jumping right on the gravy train. Oh yeah, man, I know more about it than anybody else. This is a travesty, and everybody should be fired, and we should have everybody's heads, and I want their balls for breakfast. It makes no sense. I'm not going to get in that. I'm not a neurologist.
Yeah.
The minute he takes a field, I'll be happy for him.
No, me either.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's too bad that it ended up being a bad look for the NFL because people who already don't like football because it's a man's sport, only men play it.
True.
Will use it as an excuse to beat up football. Frankly, I think there's a lot of liberal pundits that would like to see football end in the United States. They think we should be playing soccer.
Make a name for themselves by being on the front end of any kind of an action against.
Yeah, they like us. They want us playing. They want us playing soccer and cornhole. Right. That would be the national sports. All right.
Look, these guys knew what they signed up for. They knew what they're getting paid to get hits like that. It's part of the game.
Signed a contract for over $1 million.
Yeah. Cornholio.
Let's
talk about a couple of college football picks real quick.
All right.
Go ahead.
Since it is Steer the Line and it is a gambling show, by the way. Washington Huskies play the UCLA Bruins tonight in La La Land. Your world. You own Hollywood. I understand,
it's
Rocky.
True. Everybody asked me if they asked me for permission. I'm just kidding.
So the Washington Huskies are -2.5 going to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA this evening. You got any thoughts on that game, Rocky?
No, I don't. I don't. UCLA is one of those home teams I stay away from. I don't want to jinx them. They have a tough enough time winning football games anyway in that division. They do okay within the division, but they don't do well, when they play USC or when it comes down to going into a bowl game. They just don't make it. I like Washington. I hate to say it. I'm going to hear it from everybody in LA now. I like Washington in that game. Sorry.
Traitor. How dare you?
I know. You're a UCLA fan.
Christian?
Yeah, UCLA was my dream school. But I have to agree with Rocky on this. UCLA is not the best outside of their division. And Washington's a 3-point favorite. So I would definitely take Washington on that bet.
Yeah. Interestingly, you can't bet on Washington college team sports in Washington.
Interesting.
Right.
It was one of the things that was agreed to when sports gambling was allowed. They didn't want it to corrupt the college sports. So they don't allow you to bet on games played by Washington teams, no matter where they're played. But if I could legally bet, I'd be taking the Huskies minus what I saw earlier today was 2.5.
It's
And-
minus
and if
3
it
now.
was
I just checked it
3,
out.
which is why
if it
Vegas
was
was at a
3,
14.
if it was 3, I would buy it down to 2.5 because I hate that 3, that 3.5. That hook, that push, I hate it. I want to be at 2.5, or I want to be at 6.5 or 9.5. I don't want to be at 3, 7, or 10, or 3.5, 7.5, or 10.5. I think the Huskies basically are a more physical team than UCLA. Have you seen Penix, the Washington quarterback transfer, play ever, Rocky?
No.
He's big, he's strong, he's got the strangest delivery I've ever seen. He throws a football like a second baseman to first base. It doesn't get much above his shoulder, and he throws it on a straight line. It's one of the oddest things I've ever seen in football.
Interesting.
Anyway, and then a couple other college picks. Alabama, the Crimson
Arkansas.
Tide.
Alabama, Arkansas.
Coming. What was that?
Alabama and Arkansas. 17 points. Who do you like?
Well, the game's being played in Arkansas. Arkansas's quarterback is 6'3", 243 pounds. Runs a 4.40. He's huge. He's fast. He's tough. He's a difference maker. You know, he's the kind of player like Lamar Jackson where you go, well, what are we going to do on this next play? Oh, we have Lamar Jackson. Okay, let's do that, right? I mean, he's the same way. The other thing is Alabama generally pushes people around because they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. Well, Arkansas's offensive and defensive lines are as big as Alabama. They're huge. And so Alabama's not going to be able to just physically dominate this game. And it's in Arkansas. Arkansas is competitive again on the national stage for the first time in a long time. That stadium is going to be rocking. I don't think they're going to have to go silent count for Alabama. They're not going to be able to hear a thing. Arkansas may not win, but you're going to give me 17.5?
I'm about to say, is that right? 17.5 points?
17 points.
It opened at 14.5.
That's insane. That's over 3 scores. That's insane.
That means everybody was betting on Alabama.
Yeah.
Right. Because, well, what does the public better think? Well, Alabama always wins by 60. And Arkansas, who the hell is Arkansas? They haven't been relevant in so long that the betting public hasn't caught up. So, yeah, I love Arkansas in that game. And the other college play I love this weekend.
Were you going to ask anybody else what they think about that game?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I like Alabama. Minus 17. I know it's crazy. I would not bet it. If you made me pick a team, I would stay with Alabama. But would I bet them? No. I'm not releasing this as something somebody should bet, but I think Alabama's going to cover the 17-point spread.
Okay. I think I owe you a steak dinner because of an earlier bet.
No bet. No bet. Not in this game, baby. Not in this game.
You're not engaging. Not
in college anything.
Rocky says, I love Alabama.
I didn't say I love Alabama.
No confidence.
I said I like Alabama in this game, but I wouldn't bet it. I just said I wouldn't bet it. Not even a steak dinner. I'm not saying run out and bet it. I'm not releasing it as a pick. Ole Miss and
Minnesota Golden Gophers.
There you go.
The Minnesota Golden Gophers have covered every game this season, and I have picked them to cover every game this season. Now, they play Purdue at Purdue, I believe. It's Minnesota Golden Gophers minus 12. This is the lowest spread they have had in any game. They just destroyed Michigan State last week when everybody was saying, well, Minnesota hasn't really played anybody. They got, 11th ranked Michigan State and blew them off the field.
Yeah.
The thing that I love about the Golden Gophers is there's nothing that they're doing that is scheme-oriented or is flashy or is quirky. It's not some weird spread offense where they're throwing the ball around and, they're getting quirky chunk plays. They are running they are lining up 3 tight ends and an offensive line and 1 running back and running the ball down people's throats. There are one of the top 3 defenses in the NCAA total. I love Minnesota minus 12 against Purdue. The Boilermakers are game, but Minnesota's going to be too much. Rocky.
I take Purdue plus 12. Once again, wouldn't release it as a pick.
I must have heard you wrong.
I like Purdue.
What was that?
I like Purdue plus 12. We just can't get on the same side of anything college, can we? I like Purdue plus 12. Moving on.
Why?
Well, I just do. Minnesota's ranked, 21st? They're giving up 12 points to a solid football program. I just think it's too much.
Chris,
they're 15.
15?
What?
Yeah, Minnesota's ranked 15.
That means everybody agrees with Lou. Everybody, all the money's coming in on.
Oh, see, I got them. I got Minnesota. When I saw the 12 earlier in the week, I was like, that's going to jump.
Yeah.
So I got on it when it was minus 12. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, you know what? It's a gut feeling like Christian had, right, Rocky?
Moving on to the NFL.
It's a gut feeling.
How much time we have left on the radio, Christian?
All right.
Sorry?
About 3 minutes. I'm going to go. Ready? Cowboys minus 3, Packers minus 9.5, Bills minus 2.5, Buccaneers in a pick over Kansas City, and the Broncos plus 3 against Las Vegas.
Ooh, against your own Vegas Raiders.
I like Minnesota, and I like the Bills. I think the Bills are going to expose the Baltimore secondary for what it is, and I think that's going to be our MVP Lamar Jackson going to have a tough game to win.
All right, so if you stick with us, we're going to go through everybody's NFL picks much more closely than we just did.
Right, we just have to give over.
Right, well, we'll go through the numbers on the other, the second half hour of the show. Cool. If you stick with us on YouTube, and I will explain my reasons why I have each of these games. And I have a 7-point teaser card with 5 teams on it that I absolutely love.
Great.
And I have a shorter parlay card that I absolutely love.
1 minute.
Rocky, your
1 minute.
Your best bet NFL this weekend, Rocky.
I really have to go with Minnesota because both teams travel so poorly. But I think Minnesota is going to be because they're playing in England. They're playing in London. So
yeah.
What are they?
Minus 3. I hate Minnesota on the road, but the Saints on the road.
Yeah, minus 3.
So Minnesota is my pick of the week. And then the Bills are of course, also. But if I had to pick one.
Yeah, no Jameis Winston, no Michael Thomas. But I hate those London games.
Nobody travels worse than Minnesota. There is no worse road team than Minnesota. But they're both on the road this weekend. So,
all right, everyone who's watching on KMET 1490 AM. We're just going to transition over to YouTube. We want to hear Rocky and Loud keep on bickering at each other for the remainder of the half hour.
Switch over to YouTube.
Make sure to switch over to YouTube at Steer the Line, exactly how it sounds, Steer the Line, and we'll see you guys there.
Steer the Line. We're out.
And now you guys can continue bickering.
Hey.
But yeah, it's minus 3.
All right, Rocky's pick of the week is we gotta start keeping track of these. Your pick of the week is Minnesota Vikings minus 3.
Right.
Against the Saints in London 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, man.
For us on the West Coast.
I will not be watching that game.
Me neither.
No, I'll watch it.
I'm usually up between 4:30 and 5.
See, Lou, you're an animal. You're an animal.
No, I'm a Tua.
Get after it.
I'm a Tua.
You get up early and you get stuff done.
Oh, Lou, your video for the first half hour.
No. We don't need to run it. We had Nick on. Okay. It's fine. We're good. Right. Don't worry about it. All right. My pick of the week.
Now you won't even keep track of these, by the way. You said I am 2 for 3 in the NFL, and 1 for 1 on college. 2 for 3.
Right, and I'm 3-0. So
what?
I'm 3-0. I haven't lost.
You picked the what? The Saints over the Bucs.
Who did I pick?
Oh, never mind.
When?
Saints over the Bucs.
I don't remember that.
Okay. Whatever. Anyway, so
we have not. Okay, so we have not.
I'm going to go with 1 pick a week that I think will be the mismatch.
Okay, we have not been keeping track so far.
Yes, sir.
Christian will be the official track keeper.
Ooh. I'm the numbers guy doing. All right.
Between Rocky and Loud. Rocky, this week, you are taking the Vikings -3.
Yes, sir.
In the London game, which you're not going to watch because you stay up all night.
I'll be going to bed right about the time that game kicks off.
Yeah, I know.
Giordani's having insomnia.
Yeah, I'll be getting up about 2 hours before that game, and I'll probably, bake a couple of quiches for the family, maybe make some pancakes, blueberry muffins, some fresh juice, have a nice brunch ready for everybody.
So we got Rocky -3 with Minnesota.
Yes,
all right.
By the way, with a caveat, I want everybody to understand Minnesota is one of the worst road teams in football, but they're both on the road. This should have been a home team.
Then why are you picking them?
Because Saints are on the road too. They're going to win. If they go on the road a dozen times, they'll win 5 or 6 of those games. I mean, 20 times, they'll win 5 or 6 of those games. This is one of them they'll win on the road. They won't win another road game all year. This is it.
And Loud, your pick for this week.
Cowboys -3.
Cowboys -3 with
Cowboys
Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush has been the surprise of the NFL season.
All right. Got a question for you. What is Carson Wentz's QBR this year?
Carson Wentz QBR?
Don't look it up.
Well,
Rocky.
I have no idea. I am not paying any attention to Carson Wentz or the Washington Commanders, Redskins at all.
Let me ask you this then. Who has a higher QBR, Carson Wentz or
Cooper Rush?
Cooper Rush has like a 70-something QBR, and Carson Wentz is below 50.
Yeah, it's 40.4, ranked 24th in the NFL.
There's a couple of things that go into that, though. And that I would say opponents. And I don't think that Carson Wentz is going to have any easier time with a division game with Dallas. But in his defense, he's had some rough. He's played a couple of really bad. Philadelphia has one of the best top 5 defenses in the league, man.
Yeah.
So he's had some, and it's not going to get much easier for him this week, really. So. Yeah.
And that's honestly one of the things that early in the NFL season, you've got to be careful when you look at top defense, top offense, who's scoring a lot of points, who's not scoring a lot of points. 1, 2, 3 games. It depends on who
didn't you pick the Bills last week because you thought Miami was worse than the Rams or something? Yeah.
God, you know what? I've had a local head trauma.
You got 2 in.
got 2 in.
Pretty sure you picked the Bills last week, homie.
Now, I have a question for both of you.
I don't remember.
Did you think going into the season, Cooper Rush and Jalen Hurts would be the only undefeated quarterbacks going into week 4?
Oh, my God, that's insane. What a stat.
Right?
Again, opponents. Philadelphia has not played a playoff team yet.
No, they have not.
Easier schedule.
But the Cowboys have.
In the NFL, they have, but they're going to They're going to. I'm gonna pump the brakes on this Jalen Hurts MVP stuff right now because I want to see him beat a playoff team. He'll get some tougher tests down the road. And I think. But on the other hand, Cooper Rush, Dallas could not ask for a better scenario. Guy comes in off the bench, just takes over, man. Confident.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so here's what's happened. Here's what's happened with Dallas. Yeah. Because Dak Prescott is not playing, they are actually playing the team the way they should have been playing it all along. Run the ball, play action when you have to, screen pass, and play good defense. I'm going to throw the ball all over the field to Dak Prescott is not going to work because you don't have the outside weapons for it in Dallas.
Right.
So when they had to actually play the way they should play the team, they're winning.
Surprisingly, Ezekiel Elliott isn't the best running back on the Cowboys right now. It's Tony Pollard. Yeah, it's Pollard.
No,
he has a better rushing rate. He has more yards and less attempts and more yards per attempt. It's insane.
Right. So for me, Tony Pollard would be the lead back and Ezekiel Elliott would be spelling him at this point. That's the way I'd be running the team.
But you're right. A lot of why they beat the Giants last week was because they played such a balanced offense. And you're correct. It's exactly 100% right, Lou. It's because they don't have Dak Prescott. They're not throwing the ball all over the place. They're actually Cooper Rush has made Mike McCarthy look like a much better coach than he is.
Right. Because he's gone, I can't try to be the smartest guy in the room. I've got to just do this.
But Cooper
and
Rush
now that they're playing within themselves,
the
Cowboys' way to success, run the ball, play action, play good defense.
Yeah. And then shotgun formation, throw it down. Now, at the end of the year, let's say Cooper Rush has a winning record with the Cowboys, maybe even sneaks in a playoff spot. What are you doing with Dak Prescott?
You already overpaid him.
Yeah, he's getting paid $164 million for the next 4 years.
He would be the highest paid.
They overpaid for Ezekiel Elliott, and they overpaid for Dak Prescott.
And Jerry Jones, that's his fault.
But that's what Dallas does.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see them pulling Cooper Rush out. And Dak wants to get back out there quick. He sees what's going on. Get out there. He's ready. He's eager. Back, sore thumb and all, man.
If I am the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, until Cooper Rush loses 2 games in a row, I'm not taking him out. Because the team is working right with him in. All right, let's move on to the next pick. The Green Bay Packers are my second best pick of the week. They are minus 9.5 when I got them versus the New England Patriots who are coming to Green Bay. By the way, Mac Jones was ruled out officially earlier today, and Brian Hoyer will start that game. Christian.
With Mac Jones out, I see no hope for New England, honestly. Mac Jones was one of the very few bright spots in the organization. I think, what's his name? Man Bun? I'm blanking. Aaron Rodgers.
Hoyer? Aaron Rodgers.
Man Bun.
Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is just going to torch him all game, even with the rookies he has on his team.
Lazard is coming back for this game.
Oh,
Hobbs. Anyway, the older wide receiver is coming back for this game. Bakhtiari is still questionable, but Green Bay overall is getting back to health with their outside weapons. It's in Green Bay. New England sucks, and now they have a backup quarterback. Although, the one thing that worries me is, does New England then go what Dallas, is doing, which is run the ball and play action, and do they take the air out of the ball, and then Green Bay just can't score enough to get over the 9.5?
It's going to be a defensive game. The New England is going to come out and play defense. That's going to be their game plan. They're going to pressure Aaron Rodgers, when they have him in any kind of third and medium to long distance, they're not going to pressure him, every at least 20% of the time. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to do that much this weekend. I think the defenses are going to take over. I don't expect anybody to win by double digits. I know, backup quarterback going to Lambeau Field, it sounds like a death sentence, but I hate giving up double digits in football games in the NFL. I don't do it. And this game's flying over 9 now. It's going to be over double digits now. And I don't like it. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to manage the game and just try to sneak out a win,
Yeah, even with New England's pretty good defense, I can't see them winning this game without a quarterback.
New England is going to run the ball, like Lou said, and keep Aaron Rodgers sitting on the bench.
Yeah,
as best they can. It's been a defensive struggle, low scoring.
Okay, so Rocky, you and I are old school in the NFL, and here's one of the things I think we both have to be careful getting caught up in, which is the rule used to be in the NFL, if it's over a 10-point spread, take the dog.
Always.
Right? That is not true anymore.
Yeah,
there are a lot of
they throw the ball more than ever.
17-point spreads that are winning.
Yeah,
in
you
the
picked
NFL.
it. You nailed it when you talked about the Cowboys. When you have a quarterback like Mahomes or Dak, you throw the ball more. You're going to throw the ball more than you might be inclined to. Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, they hardly ever. They had them, and they had a Hall of Fame running back. You know what I mean? But they don't. You're right. Less balanced attack. We may see something different from that in Lambeau Field this week. I don't think they'll throw as much. Aaron Rodgers, he throws the ball everywhere. So yeah, you're right. 10 points isn't that much anymore. You're right, Lou.
I just don't see how the Patriots score more than 10 or 13 points. And Aaron Rodgers,
might score 20
touchdowns, couple of field goals.
Yeah, and just control the ball. I don't think he's going to try to blow them out. I think he's going to get the win. We'll see.
Yeah.
They might score 50. He might drop a 50.
If it was over 10, I wouldn't like it. I like it at -9.5. Okay. The Buffalo Bills. God, man, I was on the edge of my seat. I thought the Bills were going to come back and win that game against Miami. I felt like the Bills offensive coordinator that basically destroyed an entire press box after the game. Did anybody see that video besides me?
Yeah. It was
oh, my Lord.
His
computer, their computer, the chairs.
He got fined for that.
Oh my gosh!
Right? Did he?
Yeah, he got fined about I think $25,000, something like that.
Yeah, the team will pay it.
Yeah.
But hey, man, listen. What Miami did, they came out with a great game plan, and they pressured.
Yeah, it was.
Josh Allen.
Let's be 108 degrees with 90% humidity.
Now, anybody thinks that is inclement weather. It's as bad as snow or rain or anything else. Anybody who thinks inclement weather isn't going to have an effect on somebody's performance, it is. But that wasn't the reason why they lost. But it sure made it a lot.
It was a factor for him. Did you see Stephon Diggs on the sideline?
And the front line may have weakened a little bit because they started pressuring him less in the second half and getting to him more. You know what I mean? He hurried a lot of passes, man. They played a great game, and they just beat him.
Yeah, that was probably the game of the year so far.
All right.
Great game.
Bills, Ravens.
Bills -3. Yeah.
Listen, the Ravens have the very terrible misfortune of getting the Bills in a revenge game. I mean, when they're coming off a terrible loss, they feel like they need to kick somebody's butt, and it's going to be the Ravens. The Ravens are going to get the shit kicked out. I'm sorry. They're going to get the crap beat out of them this week because Josh Allen is going to go nuts on that secondary. Nuts. Crazy.
Christian.
As much as I hate to say it, yeah, I have to agree. The Ravens are not going to win this game, even though it's going to hurt Lamar's MVP race, in my opinion. And, they got a lot of guys out. Marcus Peters is likely out. Mark Andrews is questionable. Justin Houston's going to be out. It's going to be tough for them.
Well, you also see a game plan that's going to expose how to beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
Miami showed you. Miami beat them.
But a lot of guys on Buffalo's questionable. Von Miller, Stephon Diggs, those are two key players that might not play this week.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. On paper it looks great, but that's why they play the game on Sundays, man.
Exactly.
I
Any given Sunday.
don't think Josh Allen needs too many weapons to beat this the Ravens secondary. I really don't.
I can't see Buffalo losing 2 games in a row.
I agree.
I just
That would
can't
be
see.
insane. That would be a surprise. That would shock everyone.
All right, so we're all on the same side here. We don't necessarily love the points, but the Bills win this game.
It's a low spread. It's like a field goal,
3.
right?
2.5, 3.
What is it? Lou? Loud?
3.
I got it at 2.5.
2.5, I love it.
3 in
At
most
2.5,
places.
I love it.
Mhm.
At 3, it might get a push, but I don't think so. I think this might be a double-digit win. This might be a blowout.
Here's
And
an
nobody expects it
interesting.
because they're a great game.
Here's a really interesting one. Sunday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs, coming off a loss,
Yeah.
go to Tampa Bay, coming off a loss.
Yep.
Yeah.
The game was +1 Tampa when it opened. It is now a pick. The last time I saw, Christian,
I see -2.5 right here.
what?
Who do you like?
Yeah.
-2.5 for who?
Tampa.
Wow. Okay. A huge amount of money must have moved Tampa's direction.
Mhm. I like Tampa in
Mike
this
Evans
game,
is
though.
back.
Mike Evans is
Mike
back.
Evans is back.
Yeah.
Godwin might play, right? Is Godwin good or no?
I don't believe he is.
No.
I believe Chris
So
Godwin's going to be.
they might get another receiver back, but Gronk isn't there.
Yeah, Cole Beasley is going to
Evans
have
is back.
another week in the formation. He's going to learn the playbook even more.
Are they going to play that game, Lou, loud in Tampa Bay?
Yes, it is going to be in Tampa.
They are.
That's
The
what I was
Hurricanes
going to ask
clear
too.
out. All right. Squeegee that field, baby.
Boy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me check.
That's a
something
tough one,
here.
isn't it? That's a tough pick.
Yeah.
Both coming off.
I
a
see
loss.
half a point here too, but I also see 2.5 on the open market.
All right, so let me just tell you the actual bets that I got today. Cowboys -3, Packers -9.5, and Arkansas +17.5, Gophers -12.5, and Broncos +3.
You didn't take Arkansas. You took Alabama. Oh, you took Arkansas. That's right. I took Alabama. Right.
And then the Bills are -3. Earlier today, when I was at Snoqualmie Casino and Sportsbook, the place where I love to play, I got Tampa Bay as a pick -110.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the spread is going to make any difference in this game at all. The Bucs are either going to win it by a touchdown or more, or they're going to lose it outright. I don't think the spread's going to matter at all. I would just pick a team, whoever you like. I don't think the spread's going to matter in this game at all.
Okay, so I'm a numbers guy, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Is that why you always call me number 2?
I'm sorry?
Is that why you always call me number 2?
No, stop it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are allowing 9 points a game.
Yeah.
9 points a game.
Incredible.
Not
That's insane.
a quarter.
And who have they played?
Not
The Cowboys.
Yeah.
9 points a game.
Yeah. Cowboys, Packers.
And Kansas City is allowing 21.5 points on defense per game. And they've played crappy competition. So I don't think, and last week we actually saw for the first time, they really missed Tyreek Hill in that game.
Boy,
Yeah.
Against
Did
the Colts. They what the Colts did is they doubled and tripled the tight end. Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
And said, okay, beat us with those second and third string wide receivers. And they couldn't do it.
Was Juju in? Was Juju hurt?
If I was a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't worry too much about that loss to the Colts. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. So many things had to happen to lose that game. Kelce dropped about 4 balls to hit him right on the numbers, man. But everybody was having dropsies. They muffed 2 punts. Come on, man. Everything went wrong. I mean, everything went wrong in that game. They should have won the game easily.
And the same thing happened with the Bills in Miami, and you're discounting that for the Bills.
Right.
So who won and who lost?
Colts won.
Colts won. Right.
Yeah. And the Dolphins won.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no. What I'm saying is he's saying on one side, well, everything that could go wrong went wrong for Kansas City.
What went wrong in the Bills game?
Yeah.
They got to play.
It was 175 degrees.
That's part of the game.
And 2,000%
You said that wouldn't matter. You said that wouldn't matter.
You did say that last week.
I did. And I was.
Don't say it.
I can't.
Don't break my heart.
If he says it, he might die.
No, I can't say it. It's impossible.
No. But no, that's part of the
Moving
game. Playing in conditions is part of the game.
Lou, you just got me all romantic. Those are little sounds we like to hear our wives make.
I'm now totally confused. The Broncos come to play the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 0 and on the season.
Who do you like, Lou?
Man, if the Raiders don't get a win, it is so ugly.
You know, they're going to
so ugly.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't even comprehend how ugly it would be. Man, honestly, Rocky, I have to tell the truth. As a Raiders fan, lifelong.
Yeah.
I bet on the Broncos.
Yeah, no, not me. I like the Raiders.
Yeah.
Raiders are going to get a win.
I do too.
They travel really well against Denver. They play really well in Denver. They have a great record there. I think they're 4-0 before Russell Wilson came on board, of course. But Russell Wilson hasn't been Russell Wilson either the last few weeks. I like the Raiders to come out of there with a win. They're going to get a win sooner or later, Lou. Denver's a tough place to play for some teams.
No, the game's in Vegas.
But I think they win.
The game's in Vegas, Rocky.
I'm sorry, game's in Vegas. Oh, yeah. I like the Raiders for sure.
Yeah, I do too.
They're going to get a win, Lou, sooner or later. It's going to happen, man.
It's breaking his heart.
For all the Raiders fans that follow the show because of Jeremy, the Raiders have the Broncos in Vegas. If they get a win, they then go to the Chiefs Monday night.
Different story.
Now, so at that point, they are 1 and 3. Then they have the Texans at the Raiders, Raiders at the Saints, Raiders at the Jaguars, and Colts at Raiders.
Jaguars beat the heck out of the Chargers. You guys see that?
They could finish the first half at 9-4.
Yeah, I think it's because they had an injured quarterback who they didn't want to. I'm just saying it's interesting. I think the Raiders might be 4-4 in 3 weeks.
5-4 at the halfway mark. They'll be. I think they win 5 of their first 9 games. I think they win 4 of those next. I don't like them on Monday night, but after that, I think they win. I think they sweep. They're all winnable games. Every one of those is a winnable game.
You know what? They should be 2-1 right now. Honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But
they were close to San Diego. They had Arizona beat.
Mm-hmm.
And
talk
then
about Jennifer Lawrence. She's playing great.
Yeah, with the long flowy hair.
Yeah. Okay, so this week for the Jaguars, Okay, they beat the crap out of the Colts. The Colts suck. Yeah. They beat San Diego with a quarterback who has broken ribs. Okay.
Right.
Now they go to Philadelphia. I was really tempted to bet on Jacksonville, but at the end of the day, I just went, man, you know what? I don't trust them yet.
Yeah, no, of course not. Philadelphia matches up really well against a non-playoff team. You can't bet against Philadelphia against a non. They're playing another non-playoff team. They're going to rack up the wins, and they're going to get their tits ripped when they start playing real football teams. They're going to get.
Is Philadelphia that good, Rocky?
Huh?
No.
What's that?
Christian, answer the question. Philadelphia is not that good.
Is Philadelphia that good?
No.
I think their defense is really good. I don't think Jalen Hurts is that bad.
But I do not like them when they get to the playoffs. I don't like them at all.
I do not like your ham. I do not like your plan. All right, so
they have probably the easiest schedule in football right now.
Yeah,
I'm looking at their schedule. Yeah.
Terrible.
But they play Jacksonville, Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts, Packers, Titans, Giants, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants.
Too easy.
All right. I'm going to run down a 4-team parlay that I absolutely love that I put some money on earlier today. And Rocky's going to tell me why I'm wrong. Cowboys -3, Packers -9.5, Bills -3, Buccaneers pick.
Now that's a parlay. No
4-team parlay. $56 would pay me back $785.
Okay, the only reason I don't like it.
Cowboys -3, yes or no?
I like it. I like them all.
Packers -9.5.
But there's going to be a snake bite somewhere. You can't pick 4 teams in a row. If you do, you'll be a genius.
Okay.
4-team parlays pay real good.
On paper, it looks great, but yeah.
Yeah, somebody get him a snake bit.
All right, so here's a 7-point team teaser I played. Cowboys +4. Packers -2.5. Buffalo +4. Buccaneers +7. Broncos +9.5.
Yeah, that don't sound bad either. But once again, none of them sound like they're 100%. I wouldn't bet the ranch on any one of them. There's going to be a snake bite somewhere. There's always a mismatch somewhere.
That's the way that I have always felt is when I try to do a more than 3-team parlay or teaser.
It's
so tough. But there are guys that I know that have hit 8-team, 10-team, 16-team parlays, and it's just like, oh my God, for $15, you just made $10,000.
Sure, and that's fun.
It's crazy.
The first game,
right? Man, it's nuts. All right. Well, anyway, my top picks for the weekend: Cowboys -3, Packers -9.5, Bills -2.5, Buccaneers in the pick, Broncos +3. That's NFL. Tonight, Huskies -2.5 against UCLA. And tomorrow, Arkansas +17.5, Alabama. Minnesota Golden Gophers -12 versus Purdue. Christian, take us out, buddy.
Thank you guys for watching Steer the Line here. We'll be back again next Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And, go Raiders, go Rams, go football. And
never talked about
and make sure to bet on the Lions just because I have a feeling.